refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take a few to lose. Built to win, apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. And today, we will be going over the Elite 8 and the NIT. I will be doing both days. I will be doing today and tomorrow. It's 4 games, so might as well just put them all in one episode. Real quick, overall record, 105-60. Solid, could be better. Had a bad day in the NIT. We went 2-4 on Sunday. 15-9 overall. But hopefully we can get these right and we can keep it pushing with the Final Four and the last of it as we wind down this college basketball season. So we're just going to jump right into it because the first game starts in about 23 minutes. The first game being an American Athletic Conference quadruple set. Rare times where somebody plays each other 4 times. We have Wichita State taking on the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes. Now, Wichita State is actually up 2-1 in this series. They won at home against Tulsa by 4, and then they won in the American Athletic Conference semifinals against Tulsa, while Tulsa only win is at home against Wichita State, where they won by 10. And they will be back at home in this matchup. So we have the quadruple set where Tulsa can either tie or Wichita State could win 3-1. And shout out to Aldmart 303. Appreciate you. But Tulsa is actually 4.5-point favorites. This game is this game is today, 7:00 on ESPN2. So make sure you tune in if you're a college basketball fan like me. Wichita State, they are led by Kenyon Giles, averaging 19.3 points per game and 1.6 steals. We got Karan Boyd averaging 10.8 points per game, 5.7 rebounds, and Will Berg averaging 8.9 points per game, 8.1 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks per game. Now, the X factor to me is going to be Dylan Petit. Dylan Petit in the last 2 games, so in the NIT, he's averaging 9 points, 8 rebounds, so he's been big for the Wichita State Shockers. And I think he's going to have another good game against the Golden Hurricanes, which offense, again, very explosive. Wichita State is coming into this one where they beat Wyoming and Oklahoma State. Now, Tulsa, again, very explosive offensively. They are led by David Green, averaging 16.1 points per game, 4.5 rebounds. Tylen Riley, averaging 4.8 points per game, 3.8 rebounds, and 4.3 assists. And Miles Barnstable, averaging 14.6 points per game and 3.8 rebounds. Now, their X factor is going to be Ade Papula, and he's been big for the Golden Hurricane. He's averaging 17 points per game in this NIT, which is 2 games, while shooting the 3-ball at 50%. I think both games he actually shot 4 for 8 from 3, funny enough. But really big, adding on to that firepower of the Golden Hurricane. And they're going to need all of it against the Wichita State team that plays really good defensively. Tulsa is coming into this one beating Stephen F. Austin and then beating UNLV, which the UNLV win I did not predict. I thought UNLV would upset them. And they actually did a really good job against UNLV just scoring the ball a ton. And because they're at home and because that offense is so explosive, I am going to take the Golden Hurricane here. I am going to take the Golden Hurricane to tie it up. Again, last time they played at home, 1 by 10. I think the home court advantage is huge. in this matchup. And again, Tulsa's offense has just been clicking a ton. Wichita State had a great offensive game against Oklahoma State, blew them out. But against Wyoming, not so much. And I think if Tulsa just gets into that bag where they hitting shots, it's going to be a little scary for Wichita State. So give me Tulsa in this matchup. Again, though, Wichita State is up 2-1 in this matchup. And again, they are a really good, solid defensive team that can score the ball. But I'm going with Tulsa being at home here. Going with home court advantage. Next, we have St. Joseph's, who, man, we'll talk about what they did in a second, taking on New Mexico, who is one of my favorites to win the NIT. Shout out to Random Vortex GT fans. Appreciate you stopping by. But, man, St. Joseph came back down 19 to beat Cal on the road. I was feeling good about the Cal game. I'm like, bet Cal up 19. Really good offense. At least I'm going to go 3-3 NIT, right? Went 2-0 the day prior. 3-3 is cool, balances out. No. St. Joseph's comes back down 19, and Cal cannot execute down the stretch to win the ball game. So St. Joseph's coming off that, and they're coming off a win against I forgot who else they beat in the first round, but it'll come back to me. New Mexico has been doing their thing during the tournament. Now, Dayton Aubrey did miss last game due to an illness. It is coach said that he does plan on having them back for this one, but Uriah Tenet stepped up in a big way. New Mexico absolutely destroyed. Why am I blanking on opponents? I can't remember who New Mexico played. Give me 1 second. I'm about to go on this ESPN app because I can't remember who they played. They actually won by double digits. I know the first round they beat Sam Houston and they blew them out. The second round, I don't know why I'm having trouble remembering. Let's see. They played George Washington, won by 25, beat George Washington. There we go. And St. Joseph's in the first round played Colorado State. There we go, on the road, and won by 5. Sorry about that. But St. Joseph's, they're led by Jaden Glover Toscano, averaging 16 points per game, 4.9 rebounds. Derek Simpson, 13.4 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 5.3 assists, and 1.4 steals. And Deshair Haskins averaging 11 points per game and 6.5 rebounds. The X factor to me is going to be Justice at Joe Bohr, and him help deal with Tomislav Buhan and help deal with JT Rock. So I think he'll be big in that matchup down low. For New Mexico, they are led by Jake Hall, averaging 16 points per game. Tomislav Buhan, averaging 12.8 points per game, 10.4 rebounds, and 1.1 steals. And Dayton Aubrey, again, should be back for the matchup against St. Joseph. He is averaging 11.9 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, and 1.5 steals. X Factor is going to be the X Factor that stepped up in the absence of Aubrey, Uriah Tenet. Uriah Tenet is averaging 17.5 points per game in the NIT, the last 2, and he had 15 points last game in the absence of Aubrey. So if he can still bring it, which he did in game 1, with Aubrey being there, that'll be huge for the New Mexico Lobos. And my winner is the New Mexico Lobos. Now, New Mexico isn't necessarily the team that can score like Cal, but New Mexico plays really good defense, and I think that New Mexico gets the win here. I think Buhan is going to be a super presence down low for the Lobos. I think Uriah Tenet is going to continue the great stellar play he's been performing while in this NIT. Jake Hall, we know he's a bucket. He can score. He gets to the rim. And I think Buhan, like I said, he asserts his dominance. Now, got to give it up for guys like Glover Toscano, who he's been really good for St. Joseph's. And St. Joseph's has been getting points they've been getting help from people on the bench. Finkler in game 1, not so much in game 2, but they got help from others. But ultimately, I do think New Mexico wins this and gets to the Final Four. Now, we're going to go over the 2 games for tomorrow. And we're going to start with Illinois State, who upset Wake Forest. They did upset Wake Forest. Johnny Kinzinger hit the game-winning 3 as time was about to expire to win 78-75 at Wake Forest. They also beat I almost said Dayton. That's where they play. Who else they beat? I'm sick. I had them losing that game too, and they won. Excuse me. Why am I blanking on who they beat? No. Kent State blew out Kent State. I had Kent State winning. They blew them out. Dayton coming into this game. Dayton again was my favorite to win it, even over Auburn. Dayton is coming in this one. They beat I'm blanking on something. UNC Wilmington, who beat Yale, and they beat Bradley. So 2 solid wins for the Dayton Flyers as well. Dayton actually finally gets a home game. Now, their first game was supposed to be a home game, but the NCAA tournament first 4 was in Dayton, so obviously they couldn't have a home game there, so they went to Bradley, which I thought wasn't fair. They should have had at least try to find a neutral site for that one to make it fair for Dayton, but they handled business. And then the UNC Wilmington one, because I think UNC Wilmington beat Yale, which I think Yale's a 1 seed, so that's why they got the home game. But now Dayton is the home team in this one. The game is tomorrow, 7 o'clock on ESPN2. Dayton is 7.5-point favorites. Now, Illinois State, they are led by the big fella Chase Walker. Chase Walker's averaging 13.7 points per game, 5.3 rebounds and 1 steal. Johnny Kinzinger averaging 11.6 points per game and 1.3 steals. And Tyreek Coleman averaging 10 points per game. Now, that X factor to me is going to be Landon Wolf, who's averaging 16 points per game in the NIT, the last 2. He had 24 against Kent State, so he only had 8 against Wake Forest, but still averaging 16 points per game for them. I think he's going to be big for Illinois State. Now, Dayton is led by Javon Bennett. Javon Bennett is averaging 16.3 points per game, 1.5 steals. Deshaun Montgomery, who had a big game, averaging 13.6 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, and 2.2 steals. And Emil Etienne is averaging 12 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks. Now, that X factor to me is going to be the same one, Jordan Durkat. Jordan Durkat is averaging 9.2 points per game off the bench, and he's going to have to play solid defense against the Illinois State team that can score the ball. So I think he's always going to be the X factor for Dayton. Now, I do want to say I don't know if Chase Walker is a big who's like, I'm not necessarily going to say he's short, but he's like one of those bigs that's like the shorter side, but he's big. And Etienne has some length, and he's not necessarily the scrawniest. So it's actually going to be an entertaining matchup to me between the two. If Chase Walker could kind of like bully his way to get some baskets for Illinois State, or if Etienne's size is going to be a little bit too much for Chase Walker. So it's one of those things. It's one of those battles, like the bigger guy versus the taller guy. So, but Chase Walker, he has some creativity around the rim. Excuse me. So, good question. But like I said, man, Dayton's one of my winners, my favorites to win it. So I'm going with Dayton. I just think Dayton defensively could get into these shooters, and then Dayton has the offensive ability to master defense. Dayton can get out and run. So I'm going with Dayton, man. Again, Illinois State is a team that can score the basketball, but I think Dayton is a team that kind of could counteract that. And they're at home court advantage. Give me Dayton to win this basketball game. And the last one we have for y'all, Nevada at Auburn. Now, Nevada, the Mountain West school, just like New Mexico. So we could potentially see 2 Mountain West schools in the NIT Final Four. Nevada is coming off of wins against, as my ESPN app took me all the way out. Don't know why you did that. They're going against Liberty and Murray State. Both double-digit wins. Beat Murray State by 14, beat Liberty by 10. Auburn's coming off wins against South Alabama, which they pulled away from that one late. And Seattle actually got closer than what it should have late ball game. But they play against each other. Auburn's 9.5-point favorites. This game is 9 o'clock on ESPN2 tomorrow, so right after Illinois State Dayton. Nevada, led by Corey Camper Jr., averaging 16.8 points per game, 4.8 rebounds and 1.2 steals. Elijah Price, 12.6 points per game, 8.5 rebounds and 1.2 steals, and 1.6 blocks. And Tayshawn Comer averaging 11.3 points per game, 3.5 assists per game. Now, their X Factor has been all NIT. He's averaging 16.5 points per game in the last 2, and that is Vaughn Weems. If Vaughn Weems can still score the basketball at the high rate he has been scoring the ball for Nevada of late, he makes them very dangerous. Now, for Auburn, led by Keyshawn Hall, averaging 19.5 points per game, 7 rebounds. Tahad Pettiford, 15.2 points per game, 3.6 assists, and 1.1 steals. And Kevin Overton averaging 13.9 points per game and 1.1 steals. The X factor to me is going to be Elijah Freeman, who is scoring with his scoring and rebounding, averaging 9.2 points per game and 5.1 rebounds per game. I think he had a big game against not Seattle, but South Alabama, if I remember correctly. But I think he's going to be an X factor, especially with, again, Keyshawn Murphy not being there for the tournament. So if he can step up, that'd be big for them. But I took the upset here, man. I've not been a fan of how Auburn's been playing of lately. I think they've been playing with fire. Oh, excuse me. Elijah Freeman had the big game against Seattle. He had 19 against Seattle, not South Alabama. He had 10 boards against Seattle. I mean, South Alabama, excuse me. But the big game, 19-7, was Seattle. But yeah, I'm going with the upset here, man. I think Nevada can, with the way that they play defense, they can keep it close, especially if Von Weems is scoring the basketball like he's been scoring in the NIT. Because not for nothing, not for nothing. I'll put that up in the second time, but not for nothing. Auburn's been letting people score. South Alabama was scoring a ton in the first half. Seattle, I think, put up 81. So I think Nevada could pull off this upset, man. Now I know it's a stretch, but I'm rolling with Nevada, man. I am. I just, like I said, not been a fan of how Auburn's been playing down the line. They played 2 games where I thought they should have easily won those games, and they were not easy wins. And I think Nevada, they got something to prove. They probably up playing at SEC school, and they're a really talented team in their own right. They have some size to match Auburn. So give me Nevada in the upset. And Tomo says, just here to say, forget Kevin Willard. Hey, Kevin Willard is good with me. He dissed Maryland and helped Bill Villanova back up. He's good with me. But that's all I have for y'all today. We're just going over the NIT today. Thursday, which is the day of the Sweet 16 in the NCAA basketball NCAA tournament, I'll be back to discuss just Thursday's Sweet 16 games. We're going to break up the Sweet 16 into Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday we'll do the Elite 8 all-in-one episode. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC. But also, like I said, the network. Speaking of the network, we have multiple shows on the network. We have the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave. Mondays and Thursdays between 7 and 8:30-ish. Make sure y'all check that out. Had a whole new Monday show. It was just Tomo. Then it was Tomo, Vaughn, Jamo, and myself. So make sure you check that out. Next, we have Unfazed. Don't know what day Unfazed will be live this week, but make sure you subscribe so you can find out when they go live. That's featuring Joe and AJ. They go live, talk NBA, NFL, maybe talk some college. I don't know. But next, BWT. Baseball's back tomorrow, man, on Netflix. Yankees, Giants. Giants, the home team. Max Fried versus Logan Webb. Excited to see that matchup. I'm pretty sure Teddy's going to have a video about that. Side note, I do have the Yankees in that game. But make sure you check that out. Next, we have FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Again, the draft is like a month away. Pro days are going on. Make sure you check that out for all the content he drops for you. Obviously, fantasy football season's over. And I know a lot of fantasy football managers are mad. Bijan Robinson, Brian Robinson on the same team. So good luck. Next we have RBO, Real Ballers Only. He said he's going live tonight. That's featuring Vaughn, NBA show. Shout out my Pistons for sweeping the Lakers, sweeping the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Got some bragging rights with that. So shout out my Pistons for that. But Pistons only got 12 games left to the playoffs. Cade, please be okay. But hey, playoffs around the corner. Next, we have Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sport. So far, my Michigan State Spartans have avoided the doghouse, but make sure you check that out. We got In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo, boxing episodes. For all your boxing needs, make sure you check them out. They go live on Sundays, not every Sunday, but when they do go live, it is on Sundays around 6:30. And last but not least, we have Zero Sports Talk with Griffey. He dropped an episode yesterday, first soccer episode on the network, so make sure you check him out. Don't think he goes live. I think he just drops episodes that's pre-recorded. So, So make sure, my Lord, you subscribe and catch those episodes when they drop. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to all those channels as well. And if you like what you listen to, stick with us. Now, again, I will not be back until Thursday. Went over both games and both days in NIT. So I'll be back Thursday to cover just Thursday's tournament games. And then Friday will be his own day. And then Saturday will be – actually, I might split up Saturday and Sunday because Saturday and Sunday, I believe, is the Final Four for the NIT as well. Let me double-check that real quick since I got my phone in my hand. But I just thought about that because if they on the same day, hey, might as well separate the days. Why not? More days of content. But no, never mind. The NIT is not even on Saturday and Sunday. So, yep, they will be on the same day. The semifinals actually are Thursday. So They'll be on the same day. Saturday and Sunday will be the same day going over to Elite 8 for the tournament. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, however. Enjoy this NIT basketball. Some of y'all might watch the NBA tonight. Probably won't be me. And, you know, just enjoy sports, man. And I will see y'all Thursday. I am gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.